Yeah, yo, sometimes you gotta go to war for what you believe in. Sometimes you gotta go to war for what it is that you want, what you see that's right. I'm about to go to war, but lyrically. War cry, baby. Yeah. Hey yo, war cries echoes in the background. That's the sound of soldiers getting ripped up and tore down. Lyrically dismantle metaphors and manhandle. Marauder with
Welcome back to another episode of Impose My Will podcast. I am your host and your brother Ramone. With me, I got my big brother Joe in the building with me.
What up?
I want to thank y'all for absolutely. How you feeling today, man?
And I'm feeling great. Had to recover after the weekend, but I feel
awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, man. Indeed, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Real quick before we start, please like, subscribe, share the podcast. Hit us on all of our different outlets. Our social media is Impose My Will podcast on IG, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter. We are on all three. We're active on all three. So yeah, definitely hit us there. Also, I want to show the people some stuff. As you can see, you might see at the top of the screen, Joe has on the shirt at the top. You'll see Impose on his shirt, right? And then on my shirt, I don't know if y'all can hold on. Let me stand up real quick. You know what I'm saying? So the merch is the merch is coming. The merch is coming. Oh, there you see that, and y'all know who Eyes that is. Y'all know who Eyes that is. Yes, true indeed. Y'all know who Eyes that is. So the merch is coming. It's coming soon. And as you can see, you just saw two different designs. This is all from my brother Joe. And he's just been beasting this stuff lately, man. He's just really been going in creatively. So very soon we'll have a Shopify site up for where you can go on and you can purchase the different merch. We got t-shirts coming. We're gonna do hats. Of course, the colder weather is coming, especially to the Northeast. So that means hoodie season. We love hoodie season around these parts. So it's coming. So please stay tuned. We will continue to update you guys once that is available. And we appreciate y'all for rocking with us, man. We definitely gonna, keep rocking. We've been making some changes to the way we do things with the podcast, rearranging some of the furniture, so to speak. So stay tuned. We got a lot of dope stuff coming. Joe, you have anything you want to add to that, bro?
Now, I'm just looking forward to the future as we continue to build, man. After this past weekend, man, it was fun getting out there networking and just in the cipher of boxing. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely a lot more to come. It was an experience for me being like my first actual professional bout to actually get out to. So, definitely looking forward, to experience some more and to just see, where we're going with the podcast right now.
For sure. Absolutely. So this is episode 6. I'm gonna dub it as the GWOAT edition for episode 6. Flint, Detroit, Wayne County, Michigan stand up, man. We had an opportunity to get out there and touch down and feel the energy live at the show. So we're gonna really kind of dig into that tonight for this episode, GWOAT edition. First things first, I want to say what up and shout out to the people of Detroit, man. People were nice.
For sure.
Very, very nice. They were helpful when we needed them. So, sometimes Detroit get a bad rap for different things or whatever the case may be. But they showed us a good time.
Yeah. Felt like home away from home, man. Like
Felt
honestly,
like home away from home. Yeah.
Good time. People was chill, like you said, man.
Yeah.
A lot of history there too. Which, made it feel good, man. It was all love, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And you know, when Joe says it feel like home away from home, we talking about literally it feels like home away from home. Detroit feels like Buffalo. It looks like Buffalo.
Straight
It
up,
feels
yeah.
like Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? Like it really registered with us when we was on their east side and we was downtown. We like, damn, you know, it's just like home. You know what I'm
Felt
saying?
like Niagara. It felt like Highland Avenue and stuff. Like,
Right, exactly.
honestly.
It felt like Niagara Falls. You know what I'm saying? It felt like, you know, like it just felt like home. There's definitely a connection between the two. Even the architecture, even the houses, everything felt eerily similar to home, man. So maybe and that's probably what made us feel the way we feel. Like we was looking around, like, damn, like, you know, this was like Jefferson and Best. You know what I'm saying? This was like
exactly
Whirlpool. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it reminded us so much of home. So it was dope, man. It was dope. So let's jump in. So real quick, man. Of course, there were other fights on the card leading up to it. Actually, from my understanding, some fights actually didn't happen on the card.
We was missing a couple ones when I was looking at the fight card. Didn't see a couple of the fights that, you know what I'm saying, the names was there, so it was like something must have happened where, you know, I think it was like 2 on the prelims and 1 on the main card. So but either still though, it was some good fights. You know what I'm saying? A couple sleepers, but most of them was very entertaining.
For sure. Michelle Rivera fight was good. He looked pretty good. Not as dominating as we've seen him you know, before. He had you know, he had some opposition, some good opposition, but he pulled off the win. So that was a good fight. That was the co-main.
The co-main fight.
Yeah, that was the co-main. And a decent fight. Not a whole lot to really dive into, so to speak. But nonetheless a good fight.
The one fight I actually
go ahead, bro.
The one fight I actually wanted to highlight was the one for the prelim card, second, and Josiah Shackelford. I guess Russ was Tony Harrison's fighter.
Yeah, it was Tony Harrison fighter, Tony Harrison from Detroit. As everybody know, Tony Harrison is famous for his fight in his rematch against Charlo, also being Alicia Baumgartner's trainer. Not sure if that's actually what he's doing now, but that's a different episode. But yeah, Tony Harrison he had a fighter there. Go ahead, Joe.
But that fight, man, they was going at it from the opening back and forth. I felt it was very close. The Shackelford, he pulled it off, man. That was a great fight. A lot of good fights on the card. I think we had one stoppage too, and an early knockout with Hussam Al Mashadi. Against the kid from he was from Argentina, Bruno Leonardo Romy or whatever. And that was a first round knockout. That one, that was the first round knockout, man. So a lot of good fights, very entertaining.
Absolutely. Our first time in Little Caesars Arena, dope arena, very modern looking as well. I enjoyed it. It's a pretty dope arena. It's not the largest arena I've been into, but it's big enough. You know, it's big enough for what they need it for. So, you know, good crowd. It was a good turnout, man. It was a really good turnout. As well.
Especially when she got out there. The house was packed after she came out and everything, man.
Absolutely.
It was a good time, bro.
Absolutely. So bro, let's jump into it. Let's jump right into the whole experience with Claressa. You know, first and foremost, while the co-main was fighting, Claressa actually, she came out. She was in a robe and everything. She was doing her meet and greets because she had special ticketing.
Sponsors.
Yeah. Sponsor. And then it was like, I think you could pay so much money to get a picture with her, and you go back to VIP or whatever the case may be. So she came out and honored all the people who had bought those tickets, you know, to come out, give hugs, pictures and stuff like that. You almost never see it happen like that. That was really dope. You almost never see it where, you know, right before a boxer is getting ready to fight, essentially, that they come out and, you know, do meet and greets and stuff like that. Usually this is something that may happen closer to the dressing room or after the fact or before the fact or whatever the case may be. But it was right before she fought, which was also a good indicator that she was feeling good at that moment. At that moment, I know she talked about she had a moment where she wasn't doing good and feeling good, but at that time you could tell she had made peace with whatever she was going through, and she came out and she honored the people who bought the special pricing, man. So that was dope. That was really, really dope.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. There's a few people there. I seen that. I don't know. Did you see Papoose there? Because I guess was talking to Papoose. So I guess he had to be on the opposite side of us because I seen somebody post something earlier. Yeah, so she was over there, you know, talking and mingling with them.
That's dope. That's dope.
It was a lot of people she seen. Who else was there? I'm in Ross St. Brown, the Detroit wide receiver.
Yeah.
I see her talking to him for a hot second. Yeah, man, it was very cool for her, like you said, because you don't expect to see nothing like that.
No,
but you could see that she was in her element. She was at home. Yeah, I mean, so
yeah. Wasn't Joe Frazier's? What was it? His was it his grandson or something like that? Somebody who was related to Joe Frazier was in the building.
Yeah. Who else?
Yeah.
When they was giving out awards. Was that Hearns or was it Tommy Hearns?
People? Tommy Hearns, that's who it was. Tommy Hearns people. Hitman, Tommy Hearns people. Yeah.
Hitman Hearns.
So that's dope. That was really dope, man. And then she her organization that she started actually gave out awards before the fight started. So I mean, it was really cool, man. That's one thing I really love about the GWOAT, man, about Clarissa, is that she's focused on the people. She does what she can for the people. Absolutely. She gives back. She, you know, do free boxing lessons and all that different stuff. So she's invested in her community, in both of course in Flint, but also you see her do stuff out in Detroit, and all of that. So it really was cool just seeing it. It was really cool. Before we jump into the actual fight, highlights of the fight, I also wanted to just kind of touch on, well, everybody know she won, right? You know what I'm saying? At this point, everybody knows that she won. I wanted to touch on exactly what she won, exactly what it means, right? Why is this a big deal? Why are we kind of, you know, doing a whole episode on her, essentially? So, first and foremost, Clarissa Shields is she's now a 5-time division champion. She's the only female fighter to jump from middleweight to heavyweight and to win a world title, right? She's the only female to ever do that. The only male fighter in 100 years to do that was Roy Jones, back when he fought Spanish dude. I forget his name. Forgive me. But Roy Jones is the only male within 100 years. So this is a big deal, right? This is a very big deal. Also, yeah, absolutely. Before I jump in, anything else that you want to say about that?
Nah, just what she's done has been like crazy. Like you said, the accolades, which you're about to get into now, that she went into, you know, starting from the Olympics and up, like, one, to actually see that in this like a wowing thing for, you know, saying a woman to do that, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, we saw that with Roy Jones or whatever. You see most of the male fighters get close, but for her to do something like that, it was like crazy to witness, like the atmosphere showed it. So
the atmosphere was crazy. It was electric in there. It was definitely electric. So when she won, it's kind of interesting when you look at the different governing bodies and what they consider in female boxing to be heavyweight versus lightweight. So there was, if I'm not mistaken, initially it was 2 belts up for grabs, but then I believe it became 3 belts up for grabs technically. I believe it was the WBC was the one that her opponent had she was a champion. She was holding the WBC.
Mm-hmm.
WBC considers heavyweight to be at a particular weight, right? 175 or whatever the case may be. But the other governing bodies see that as light heavyweight, right? So the beautiful thing is that not only did she win the heavyweight title, she won, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was 2 lightweight belts from the other 2 governing bodies. I want to say WBO and I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember the other one. So she really took home 3 belts that night, right? She took home 3 belts. Now, let's jump into the actual fight and how she took home those belts. Joe, do you want to give me your breakdown of what you saw? Ain't gonna be a long breakdown, you know what I'm saying?
Nah.
You know, it wasn't a long fight.
Yeah, you can see when she came out, obviously she was confident, but right when that you seen she locked in, it was like straight laser focus. Vanessa pretty much charged to the center of the ring, and she walked out there and she held her grounds. Like you see most fighters that are probably, start getting ready to faint, like coming off it. Like you seen Vanessa jump, and Clarissa didn't even flinch.
Nope.
And I think she was cautious because when you heard her say in a lot of the interviews, when she swung, she was like, she was big. She didn't realize she was like that big or whatever when she came. So she was like, I had to be cautious that first round, which you saw for like a good, I would say first, 4th round or whatever. Yeah. She didn't really do too much, felt her out. And then like towards the end of the first round, you saw her get that little flurry off after she got, saying hit, because actually she didn't even touch her much, to be honest with you. But I guess it was enough of the punches from Vanessa that she fleshed out that she felt her power or whatever. Once that second round came, like I said, Vanessa had her. She had her on the ropes, trying to move. And it was like pow. And then I don't know what happened. It was just like Clarissa just took control and she just like was fighting to get out of that corner. And solid. And dropped her. Like her knee just buckled. Like when she got hit right there, I was like, oh, she messed up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But and then you seen like Clarissa was like, you know what I'm saying, I got blood, I gotta go. She had an attack where she stayed on top of her and put her down. Like her transform to carry it over to going up to the heavyweight. I honestly felt that she was more at a comfortable weight to fight. Just because like she, with her being solid and stuff, I don't think she really had to like, add too much more on or, took away, which you heard her say in the past that, it's tough for her to drop down to fight. She don't have that same power. But golly, that power was there in that fight. She put her down beautifully, and it almost looked like they was ready to call it, but they didn't like step up. Get up after that second knockdown or whatever. And then she hit the mat real quick after that. The ref was like,
she did.
No more. No more.
Word. Yeah. No, man. Yeah, beautiful fight.
Yeah.
Was very interesting is that fighters who fight at a particular weight division, as you know, so somebody like her who was fighting at like 160, her walk around weight is probably closer to the 175, 174.
Right.
So when you're losing that weight, like you're spending a portion or more, or maybe even before your training camp starts, but you're spending time cutting weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, you're training, yes, you're doing this, but there's also in the back of your mind that I have to make weight. I gotta consciously cut weight. So if you're running, you're probably running with a sauna suit on. You know what I'm saying? You probably doing high rep, low weights, or whatever the case may be. And in some instances, that can kind of take away from the other aspects of your training, strategizing, coming up with strategies, putting more time into sparring, so on and so forth. And so her being at this particular weight is probably more her natural weight. She didn't really have to do the cut. She didn't really have to, change her eating habits so much. And
Right.
it just felt right. It felt natural. Typically, when most boxers, when they make it to fight night, they have little injuries or whatever the case may be from something. And in her previous interview, she was saying that, this was a time where she didn't feel anything, no soreness, no little pains, no, and what I'm saying? So she felt wonderful from, what we can gather. And I think that played a huge role in her performance tonight. You know what I'm saying? One, she's at her natural, closer to her natural walk around weight. No real injuries, soreness, all of that different stuff. And one thing she had revealed to the people is that, and she said is one of her secrets, is that she'll spar the day of the fight. And so that's pretty ill that she does that. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy, to be honest.
That's really crazy, because you can, even if you like sparring, you can risk some type of injury. But that's dope that she does that. And I'm pretty sure she hasn't explained this part, but it probably helped with the jitters. It probably helps with the nervousness. Nervous
it
energy.
has to 100%. Like, that's the only thing I could think of is like, yo, why would you do that? But you getting that first punch earlier, probably, like, whether it's a small sparring, that first punch in the ring, I mean, from your opponent. So it's like you kind of already gonna be locked in. So that's pretty dope that you do that. But that's also risque. But you gotta love fighting to be willing to go to that level. Which, I mean, she's a dog for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And just to reiterate how it went down, it was a second round stoppage, essentially, right? She knocked her down twice in the second round. That third knockdown, it wasn't like a clean flush shot per se, but Vanessa was done. That she went down.
She was out of it already. Bro.
You could tell she was out of it. You could tell she was just burnt. She was done. And so the GOAT won that one. It's always this is the thing that's always crazy, right? Since the beginning of her career, there are boxing pundits, people, or whatever the case may be. It's not the case now, right? But there were fights that she fought that she was supposed to have problems. You know what I'm saying? Christina Hammer, she was supposed to have problems. Savannah Marshall, she was supposed to have all these big problems. These girls is this, these girls is that. The Hammer was undefeated, blah, 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 blah. And the biggest fights so far of her career, she's made the opponents kind of look like amateurs. You know what I mean? The Christina Hammer was that fight was one-sided. The Savannah Marshall, it wasn't as one-sided, but it was completely clear.
Dominated.
Completely dominated, right? And she doesn't really even lose rounds. Like, that's the crazy thing. She's always way better than a lot of these opponents who are supposed to give her issues, right? Even if you go back to her early career,
right.
When she fought the girl that dropped her, oh man, they were supposed to have a rematch. Cecilia Brækhus, I believe it was. Yeah, I think it was Cecilia Brækhus. Hold on, let me see. Let me make sure, because I don't want to get it wrong and people will be in the comments talking about it. Wasn't no Cecilia Brækhus that she fought. Forgive me, y'all. I be having a lot on my mind. And but anywho, I'm not gonna find it. But anywho, in that fight, after she got dropped, she dominated the entire fight. Literally, right? So she just shows that is levels to this thing, man, and she's really at the top. Some people would say that Amanda Serrano is at the top. Amanda Serrano has more championship belts, but Clarissa has more unifications. You know what I'm saying? Some people would say Katie Taylor is the GOAT, and we can use that same correlation with those two. In my opinion, she is. Say it again.
Hannah Gabriels, who knocked her down.
Hannah Gabriels. I don't know where I got Cecilia Brækhus from, y'all. Forgive me. Hannah Gabriel's, right. And she was supposed to have the rematch with her too. Yeah, and that was a, you know what I'm saying? That was a wash for the most part. So here's the thing. She has belts at middleweight, heavyweight, light heavyweight. So there is a lot to kind of consider on where she's going, what she's going to be doing. She said in the press conference that they have 10 days to decide what they're going to do as far as at middleweight. She may have to vacate some of them titles at middleweight. And I know she was talking about trying to go fight at T-Mobile Arena or MGM or whatever case may be in Vegas. Yeah, MGM. She wanted to fight at the larger things, but opportunities have arisen after this fight. She fell in love with how she felt as a heavyweight. They're talking about possibly coming back to Little Caesars Arena by the end of the year to do it again. You know what I'm saying? In another heavyweight fight.
Yeah, she said she liked to. Yeah, she don't like that
again?
once a year shit. She says she likes to fight at least twice a year. She don't like to fight once a year. So she likes to stay active.
Yeah, and I like that because all boxers, inactivity hurts everybody, and she know inactivity hurt her. It's dope that she's a two sport athlete, so she has other outlets. But inactivity is the worst thing you can give to an athlete, man. So yeah, she might be coming back end of the year to Little Caesars Arena, depending on when on the end of the year and what the weather looking like. You know, I wouldn't necessarily mind going to see her again back in Detroit. Or, you know, she might go back down and defend her belts or try to make some of these dream matches happen. So there's a lot on the table for her. You know, the boxing world wants to see her fight Alicia Baumgartner. I'll be honest with you, I don't see that happening.
I don't believe it. Like that's too much for her to come down.
Yeah,
and especially if Alicia ain't trying to move up nothing. I think she did say come up 2 weight classes to do it, which would be comfortable for her to fight at 154 or whatever. So you're talking about her dropping below that,
right?
Risk more at a risk to fight. You know what I'm saying? Even though she could probably do it, but you know she ain't gonna have nothing on her punch. You know what I mean? So
that's just a lot. You're going for now. You're going from 174, 175, dropping down to 154. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a huge weight drop. It's a huge weight discrepancy, and it doesn't necessarily make sense unless Alicia Baumgartner agrees to go up a bit, which I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't see that happening either.
Because she keeps saying that Clarissa Shields said, "Oh, she'll come down to." Well, I think it was 147. She said she would come down to 147 and fight me, and they going back and forth. So I don't see that. I don't see that fight happening. I think, I think I could see possibly a Clarissa Shields Amanda Serrano fight maybe happening. I think
it's more realistic.
It's more realistic, and I think you got to look at you have to look at like their character, right? You have to look at Amanda Serrano character. You have to look at like these two are very pro boxing, very pro, you know, willing to take the bigger chances, so to speak, right? Amanda Serrano is a multi-division champion as well. She's come up. She's came up, you know what I'm saying? And she, you know, also she's pro 3-minute rounds for 3-minute rounds, 12 rounds for females, right? So if those two were to get negotiations, I'm sure we're going to get the 3-minute rounds and 12 rounds at 3 minutes if they can get a commission to go for it. So it's more likely, it's more realistic because those two are known to really kind of do more. You know what I mean? You see a Baumgartner, shout out to her, amazing, wonderful boxer, incredible boxer. Great talent. I just don't see her willing to make those kind of leaps to get a fight with Clarissa, or even Amanda Serrano for that matter. It might be a little bit easier, but I don't see that happening either.
Yeah. But it's going to be interesting to see who actually, Clarissa, or who decides to chase. Because to be honest with you, she's the queen of the hill right now. Like, you should be, if you're really interested, then you should be going after her or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's at this point with her being a heavyweight, she
yeah,
really shouldn't have to come down if you really want her. She really just proved that she's the
yeah,
baddest chick in boxing.
absolutely,
Come get all the
absolutely.
smoke. And that's pretty much what she said. Come get
That's
the
pretty
smoke.
much it, man. Come get this smoke.
Hmm.
So listen, before we get out of here, everybody, we are going to record another episode sooner so we can get it out. As you know, Saturday, August 3rd, this coming Saturday, is the matchroom card, another Riyadh
Yeah.
card out in LA. With that guy, Terrence Bud Crawford
The
versus
bud.
Israel Matrimov. I hope I'm saying that.
Madrigal.
Madriv.
Hmm.
Okay, there you go. I hope I'm saying it right. But also the card itself is jumping, right? The
Stacked
card is jumping.
bananas.
It is stacked. You got Big Baby Miller fighting Andy Ruiz. Um, you have who else you got on there? Um,
Andy Cruz.
right. You got Cruz on it. Also remember they were supposed to have um Tim Tszyu versus Virgil Ortiz. That might have been the fight of the night if that one stayed on the card, man. That one might have been crazy. But yeah, so Friday night we want to give our predictions, talk about who we got and why, and start breaking that down. So yeah, stay tuned. We coming back real quick for y'all. And yeah, we're gonna break down that card and watch the the
Yeah,
fight, all the finals, press conferences and all that, and get to it, man.
yeah, that's definitely gonna be a lot of interesting views for this fight here.
For sure.
Depicting who's gonna win. I do want to see that Andy
Right.
Ruiz and the Big Baby Miller fight. That's
Big
gonna be a
Baby
good
Miller.
one.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
absolutely. Yeah, that's gonna be a banger, man. I can't wait.
My man,
I can't wait to see Bud at 154.
my man Pitbull.
Oh yeah, Pitbull on the card, man. It's so, man. I'm not gonna say it's been negative press about Bud, right? I'm not gonna say it's been negative, but there have been people voicing concerns that he coming up, he fighting a bigger dude, he fighting a bigger puncher, and yeah, he may have more skill, right? He may have better movement, better footwork, better angling, blah blah blah. But if he get touched, it could be a bad night for him if he gets touched. What's your thoughts on it, real quick? We won't super dive into it, but what's your thoughts on it?
But this fight here, that I do believe is going to be a challenge for Bud. Excuse me.
Yeah,
I don't think it's just going to be like you know a three round knockout and we out of here or whatever. It's
right,
going to be a
right.
challenging fight. Madrimov, if you looked at the lad, they're pretty much sized the same. I would say Madrimov is a lot more stockier or
Stock here.
whatever, and
Yeah,
he's younger, so
yeah,
he's a little bit more agile in the ring. He's fresh because he has more amateur bouts.
yeah,
So he's fresh with that coming off the amateurs, and
yeah,
it's a young challenge for Bud. But the thing
yeah,
about Bud is Bud experience.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then on top of that, I think Bud is probably going to be walking around at a more of a natural, comfortable
Natural.
weight too. So
Yes,
you're going
more
to be
naturally.
seeing his power come. You see but you're going to see
Yeah,
like Bud got power and
yeah,
his angles and the way he's able to switch up from southpaw to orthodox
yeah,
or whatever. And I know Madrimov is going to be studying that.
yeah.
And he is going to be is he smart enough to make those adjustments and to be able to maintain with Bud's experience and skill
Right,
level? I mean,
right.
skills make fights, so we would definitely want to see. But this is definitely going to be a great fight to watch, and it's probably going to
Absolutely.
be one of his most challenging fights, to be honest with you too. So
Yeah, yeah. I agree, man. Real quick before we get out of here, I just wanted to read the card. So we got Andy Ruiz versus Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Um, which is cool because they're friends, but they're gonna get at it, right? You got
Mm-hmm.
Pitbull Cruz versus Jose Venezuela. This is a crazy fight. You got Andy Cruz versus Antonio Morani. This is gonna be a fire fight. This is one that's gonna be a good fight. I can't believe I kind of forgot about it. Jared Anderson versus Martin
Mm-hmm.
Bakole. That's gonna be a crazy one, right?
It's gonna be a brawl.
We got my guy who I like a lot. David Morrell is on the card, fighting Radivo J. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the last name. Y'all know who it is. And then after that, September 21st, since we're on DAZN and talking about DAZN, September 21st, Wembley Stadium. You talking about a crazy sellout crowd. We got Anthony Joshua versus Du Bois. That's gonna be a crazy one, y'all. We got to tune into that one too. But yeah, man. Without further ado, Joe, any other comments you have, brother? Anything like that?
Nah, at this moment, man. I'm just ready for Saturday next, bro. It's just
absolutely,
let's keep this boxing coming. There's definitely going to be a lot of news being made. You're hearing a lot of gibberish talk right now about, speculation between Shakur and Tank. And, since there was a lot of ducking over these, you got Lomo on the duck, and we got Canelo on the duck. So I'm thinking, after this fight, I think you're going to hear a lot of new up-and-coming matches to be coming. You got Canelo going to be fighting Balaga. They made the deal for that. So it's definitely a lot of news within boxing, and a lot he said, I'm hoping and I'm expecting after this weekend of fights. So
absolutely,
I'm excited
and
to see what's coming up.
We'll talk more about it on Friday, but I'm hearing some things about the Tank Shakur fight, being in deep negotiation already. So by this Friday, who knows what we'll know? We might know some more. You know what I'm saying? So
nothing set in stone yet.
Nothing set in stone.
I seen some false reports came out that it was made, and it's like, oh, that's false.
That's right.
And they both being real quiet. They both being real quiet right now. So
yes, sir. Sir. That's how you know stuff is going on
right now
in
when
the
you get
background.
silence.
Right. Yeah, man. Thank y'all again, hanging with us another episode of Impose My Will, the Gwot edition. We be back with y'all real quick. Peace
out, yeah.
Merch. The merch coming.
It's coming. It's coming soon.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Peace, y'all.
Be easy.